What's up, y'all? It's the Elder Esquire. As you can see, we in the building on the way home from the job. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I really just want to touch on this. We have to get out of the mentality to where we are bashing the opposite sex of the cultures. It doesn't matter. I see it more so in black culture than I do in any other culture, that we'll hear men ain't shit, black women ain't shit. And a lot of us are now interracially dating because we have now came to a point where we can't even get along with each other. I see posts where there will be women talking about, men do this, that, and the other, but the women do it too. So what we can't get into is a whose stick is bigger match. Well, you do it and I do it. Because when we get into those things, we have to look at them generally. And generally how you're going to look at those are through generalizations, which really means that you can't take a small percentage of a group and say that, well, since that 6, 10, 15% of men do it, that's equivalent to the 80, 90% of women that do it. So you're taking the small percentage and trying to say, oh, well, men do it too. That's not the case. Because when you look at it from a standpoint of a decade or 2 decades, it is a new norm. So when you take a new norm and try to compare it to the old like it's always been there, you're going to keep getting conflated arguments. You hear men wear weaves now, or glued on wigs. That's more now than it's ever been before. It's now popular because why is the case? If you don't look like an 8, 9, or a 10, you can't get a relationship. You can, except the best relationships don't come from 8, 9s, and 10s. They come from average people because they have average perceptions on life. When you sit there and somebody pumps you up and say, oh, you're a 9, you're a 10, you're an 8, you look good, and you hear it consistently. But if you were put into a room where there's hundreds of people that look like you would be average. Even if you were a group of 10s and you're a 10, you would be average. So what that means is you cannot assume that what somebody tells you is fact. That's why the number system doesn't really work. Because when Kevin Samuels used to use what's your dress size and what's your height and weight, he's not doing that to shame you. He's doing that to get an understanding of where you would rate. Why does that matter? If you are unhealthy, you cannot be classified as a 10. You would be in great health. That's why no woman whose BMI is a certain size can classify 8s, 9s, and 10s, because you're not healthy. You're not in great shape. Yes, we know muscle weighs more than fat, but not everybody is in that generalization. So we can't use, no different than when you hear, well, what happens if a woman gets raped? Should she keep the baby? We cannot keep creating scenarios that aren't for the majority. That's a small minority. And if you go back to the 80s to late 90s, you'll see tons of men, African black men in the Americas, getting put in jail over false rape allegations. False murder allegations. Life, 15 years, 20 years in jail, 17 years in jail before they get out for something they didn't do. That happened more than it didn't happen. You can even go all the way back to Emmett Till, supposedly whistling at a white woman, and now she says it never happened. And does she receive any time, any backlash? No. Where do you see fat black men getting big upped in social media or on in real life in music? I mean, big upped. Lizzo gets big upped. There ain't no big artists winning big time awards that are male, but Lizzo got one. And then at the end of the speech, you're gonna hear, well, we need to keep everyone aware, of basically bigger people should not get treated like this way. The last time I checked, you're responsible on what you put in your mouth. You're responsible on knowing what it does to your body. You wouldn't go out there and start drinking battery acid because you knew it'd kill you. Well, I can't say you don't, because some that don't know that it would kill them would probably try it if they were coerced to. So we live in a society that not only disinforms people or misinforms people, we live in a society that's trying to give you a right or wrong from people they deem, once again, people they deem as our leaders for the black culture. Lizzo has no right to speak for us. That girl is overweight. And that's disrespectful to call her overweight, but you have to understand overweight is unhealthy. And if she can't see that, then hey, y'all don't love her. You guys idolize her. And that's different. That's dangerous. Because when you idolize somebody, you want to be like that person. And more times than not, when you want to be like that person, it's because you want the person benefits that person gave or was given from their position. It doesn't fly with everybody. So I say all that to say this. Stop comparing men and women, saying, well, men do this and women do this, so men... That's not the comparison. We're two totally different species. Two totally different species being manipulated through what we eat. So as I close to get home, I want all of y'all to know we are doing this more so than ever to make sure people have a platform to go get information and not feel like they are being attacked for having the similar thoughts as myself and others. We want a society where we're building and coming together as a unit. We don't want to keep hearing all these dividing terms, toxic terms. Men and women can't get along. You know, black men can't be with black women and black women can't be with black men. That was the whole separation that they wanted in the first place. And yeah, I'm all for who accepts to have a relationship with you. But most people don't understand when you hear, you know, interracial dating. Well, most blacks in Americas are not 100% black or even 90% full black. So you are mixed, you are interraced. So to hear that there shouldn't be no interracial dating, we're all mutts. So I'm confused. Even the argument, we need chemical to get wavy hair, that's not true. Or we want wavy hair to look like mixed people, that's not true. I was told to brush my hair all the time and my hair started to wave up and my dad was like, you gotta brush this section because this doesn't look like it. That's not something that is based off of mixed people. It's curly hair, coarse hair, get the opportunity to do that. So when people dye their hair pink, wear blue eye contacts, fake nails, fake eyelashes, fake eyebrows, the whole nine, but then want to sit choker chains and then want to sit up there and tell you what you are. You seem to be lost if you got pink hair, eyes that don't match your natural. You don't care about your natural, so you would disrespect your counterpart. Hell, my mom is black, and she said that she did it over she'd date white men, date a white man. I've heard her say that. More times when she is angrier at my dad, but here's the thing, I look just like him. I look more like him than anything. So a lot of the rage and anger that was given was towards me. Why? Is because what do we have? We got an angry subset of people who lose their identity. So will dye their hair like white folks, eyes like white folks, want all the features of a white folk, but will blast black people for dating, or black men for dating white folks, which is absolutely crazy. So I just made it to the crib. You guys have a good one. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody stay up. Shout out to the family, Esquire team.